What's up guys, this is Corey with DBS Decks, and today we are back with another video. So today we're going to be looking at the top 5 super rare cards from Set 7 Assault of the Saiyans. So just in general, I think that Set 7 is a pretty nice set. There's not like just like a whole ton of like built in it, like this is just an auto deck, I'm going to go play this deck just based on the cards that are in it. But there are a lot of cards that kind of fit in different archetypes that have already existing, or kind of revives old archetypes or different things like that. So I think overall it's a very solid set. I'm really excited for it. Definitely interested to see what new things are going to come out of it and all that kind of stuff. But let's go ahead and get into our list. So first up, we've got number 5. Alright, for number 5, we've got Hit, Pride of Universe 6. So this is kind of the big boss monster for the whole Universe 6 engine. There's also the Kefla that's in the SRs as well. I do think Hit's probably a little bit better just because it's kind of got almost like a game-changing, game-breaking type effect. So it is a 5-drop, 3 yellow, 20k. It EX evolves for 2 yellow and 1 other off of a yellow hit with an energy cost of 2, which we do have 2 pretty good targets in the set as it is. It has dual attack and then auto bond 2. For Universe 6, whenever a card evolves in this card, if your leader is a yellow Universe 6 card and you have 4 more energy, flip your opponent's leader card to their front. If you do, your opponent can't activate their leader's Awaken or Wish skills until the end of their next turn. So this effectively kind of like, if you're going in for kind of the closeout turns or anything like that, you can kind of drop this. Now your 15k opponent's leader now becomes a 10k, unless it's some of the weird leaders that have kind of buffs on their backside. But that in and of itself is really strong, because now he's swinging in dual attack 20k, so now they have to commit at least a super combo and something else, or multiple cards if they don't have super combos and all that kind of stuff. So that's really, really good for us. So he presents like an interesting thing just by that. And then next up, he's got Activate Main once per turn. Choose up one of your opponent's battle cards, or negate its skills for the duration of the turn, and send it to its owner's warp. At the end of your opponent's next turn, play the card sent to the warp by this skill from the warp to its owner's battle area and rest mode. So this kind of gets rid of trouble cards by itself as well, whether it be like blockers that you want to try to swing in for game to kind of get rid of, or if there's just like a big threat on the board that you know I'm not going to win this turn, but I need another turn or survive, this can just warp something. And the fact that it negates its skills, this gets rid of things like the Brolys that whenever they're removed from a battle area, they bring in something else into play. So by negating its skills, you're just completely limiting those from the equation, which is really nice against Broly in general. Getting those removed was really kind of a struggle before, but this just presents an option to just get rid of it all entirely. And then it comes back into play in rest mode, so then whenever it does come back into play, now it's in rest mode, so they can't just combo it on your following turn and everything like that. So it presents a lot of really cool just things all wrapped up in one card. The reason why he's all the way down at number 5 is that while he kind of facilitates the win, he's not necessarily like a win condition by himself. Being a 20k is not super huge. The deck doesn't have like a whole lot of options to run things like the Champas and things like that to make him bigger and give him double strike. 20k is kind of a weak. Again, you are flipping the leader, but if they are able to get kind of out of that, that's really all he does. So that's why we've got him here at number 5. But let's go ahead and move on into number 4. Alright, for number 4, we've got Broly Counter Reversal. So this is a 4-drop, 2 red, 20k, permanent. During your turn, this card gets plus 5,000 power and can attack battle cards in active mode, which is a really good ability. And then what his real selling point is that he has an auto once per turn. When your opponent activates a counter skill, deal 1 damage to them. So his second effect is really why you play this card. The fact that every time you swing, they have to make a decision. Am I going to negate this? If I negate this, then I'm burning a life. So every kind of attack, you're either going to deal damage or you're going to force cards out of their hand, which is really incredible. Being a 25k that's the magic number whenever you're swinging in. The fact that it can attack active battle cards is really good, so you're kind of forcing the issue. If there's something you need to get off the board, you can just swing into it. And now they have to, if they negate, they take a life. If not, now they're just pitching cards out of their hand, so all around it's really good there. With the Broly engine, with the Dormant Legend field card, you're able to get this guy out relatively easy, like on turn 3 for free, which is really nice. Once if you can get multiples of these out, they start stacking, so every negate becomes like a real like catch-22 type situation, which is really, really nice. So I think all around it's just a really solid card. It fits into a lot of different type of decks. Anything red can effectively play this, just because it is a mono red card. The Broly stuff can play it. It's really great in like the Prison Frieza type decks and things like that. It's all around just a very, very solid card. Again, it kind of deals with the same situation as the Hit. This isn't a card that's just going to come in and just going to win the game by itself. He facilitates a lot of those kind of strategies and things like that. But being like a 25k single striker is just not like a game-changing kind of a thing. But his auto once per turn is just a really, really strong effect that it's great to have access to. So let's move on into number 3. Alright, for number 3, we've got Dependable Son Gohan. So he is another mono red card. Red's got a lot of love in this set. Dependable Brother Son Gohan, excuse me. So he's a 4-drop, 2 red, 2 other, 20k, EX Evolve for 1 red and 1 other off of a Son Gohan Adolescence with an energy cost of 3. He's a double striker. And then whenever a card evolves into this card, draw 2 cards, and if there are no other battle cards in play in your battle area, choose up to 1 green Son Goten card and 1 green Trunks Youth card with energy cost of 4 from your drop area and play them. So he comes in on the board super easily. You just evolve him off of a Gohan. Now you kind of put 2 more guys into play. If you're playing this with the Gohan leader, now you can pitch 3 cards from your hand, give everything plus 10k. So now he's a 30k double striker that can finish out games by himself, and he also brings in 2 10ks that become 20ks that can kind of swing in for a game that way. So a much better overall, like, all-around card for the engine as opposed to like the Broly and the Hit, so that's why he's a little bit higher. Being able to just swing in for game for a 30k double striker after the leader ability is incredibly powerful and just flood the board. Even if you're not winning that turn, now you're putting in like the Trunks has blocker and revenge, and I think the Goten has blocker as well. So you're just bringing in things like that. Then you're able to kind of really go up the chain and kind of really kind of pressure opponent, which is always really what you want to go for with these SRs. We've got several different targets that you can evolve off of. There's 2 come into play, counterplay Gohans that only cost like 1. If you've got different conditions met, which are really nice, you've got burst attacks and Gohan, which is really nice. A lot of decks are probably going to be playing that anyway, so a lot of great targets all around. Just a really great card. It is more restrictive because it is more engine specific, because you need to be playing like the Gohan, Trunks, and Goten stuff to really get the full effect of him. But just being able to present a 20k double striker for 2 is just really nice. So from there, let's move on into number 2. Alright, so number 2, we've got Meteoric Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. So this is just kind of a incredible powerful card. He is kind of restricted again because this is going in the Vegito engine. So there are a lot of requirements to get him out, but when he comes out, he can kind of just change the game by himself. So he's an 8-drop for 2 blue, 2 yellow. Union Potara for 2 blue, 2 yellow. Off of blue Son Goku and a yellow Vegeta. He has Barrier. Auto whenever this card attacks. If your opponent has 3 more energy, choose up to 3 blue or yellow battle cards in your energy area and combo with them, and then auto whenever you combo with a battle card using this card's skill and your leader card is blue. If you have 3 more battle cards in your combo area, choose all of your opponent's battle cards and energy, switch them to rest mode, and those cards can't be switched to active mode during your opponent's next charge phase. So whenever he comes out, and he can come out for 4, and he swings, you just combo 3 from your energy, and now all of your opponent's stuff is tapped down, and they're not able to untap that at their next charge phase. So right there, you're applying like immense pressure, and then there's a lot of combos that work with him. We've got like the Super Saiyan 2 Trunks that whenever it's comboed from an energy area due to his skill, it comes into play, and he's a 30k double striker. And then you got the leader ability. Whenever you combo, you put that back into your hand and everything like that. So there's so much going on here. Being able to Union Potara for 4 is incredibly nice, especially if you're already running the Son Goku and Vegeta leader that goes into Vegito. He can just put in a Goku and a Vegeta into play right away, and then you can use Union Potara right off of that, and then now you're ready to go on turn 4. And decks like this are running like Objection and stuff. You're able to build up some energy, and you're able to continue this lock for multiple turns. So even if you're not winning right away, you're forcing your opponent to have 1 energy to try to answer you on the following turn, which isn't like super likely to happen all the time. So just really great, and it's tapping down their battle cards, so they're not able to like apply pressure to you on that turn. So they're happy to come up with answers with 1 energy, which is just really nice. All around, like I said, this is just kind of a game-breaking effect. Obviously, you're only limited to maybe like 2 turns. If you're like running Objection and Ramp and everything, like you could potentially get up to 3 turns. It is a little bit trickier that way, but the potential to lock your opponent out of all their energy and battle cards for 2 solid turns is just incredibly powerful. It is a little bit limited because you do have to run all the pieces for it, but just by the fact that of what its ability is, I think it's just such a strong card. So finally, let's get into our number 1 card. Finally, for our number 1, I don't think it's too much of a shock to anybody, but we have our Kaioken Goku, Defender of Earth. This is one of the better bomb cards in the game. It's a really fantastic finisher. It is a little trickier to get out, but it is a 7-drop. It costs 3 green, 2 red. It's a 25k with deflect. Permanent, if there are 20 or more red and green cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2, so it costs 5. Auto whenever your life reaches 1. For the duration of the turn, this card gains triple strike, dual attack, and can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills. And then activate main, choose 1 card in your life and add it to your hand. Your opponent reveals their hand, then you choose up to 1 card from it, place it in the drop area, and this card gets plus 25 power for the duration of the turn. This is not a once per turn type of effect, so if you're at 7 life, you can cut yourself 6 times, go all the way down to 1. He gets 25k times 6. You're ripping 6 cards out of your opponent's hand. Then he gains dual attack, triple strike, and all that kind of stuff, and he just becomes a big monster that's just almost impossible to deal with. You're ripping all the negates or all the defense out of your opponent's hand and just swinging in for game right there. That's why this card is super, super powerful. It is restrictive on how you're going to get it out. In decks that are running this whole type of engine, you got to get 20 red and green cards in the drop to make him cost 5, so this guy's not coming out until near the end of the game. So whenever he's coming out, it's pretty much over. There are a couple decks with the Shenron decks and things like that. You're able to kind of get him out regardless. If you've got the 20 cards in drop, you can just get up to 7 energy with ramp and kind of get him out and kind of win the game there, which is a strong option as well. But just the fact that this guy comes out and rips all of your opponent's cards and then just swings in. Also, he has deflect, which isn't as relevant anymore because there's not a lot of cards that interact with, there's Cult Bloodlust, but that's limited to 1 anyway. So Cult Bloodlust doesn't have an effect. A lot of the other counterplay cards are 4 cost or less or 20k or less, so those aren't going to interact with them anyway. But and then when he comes out, he just answers everything. He's like, cool, you got 4 negates, I'm taking those. Obviously there are restrictions. If you get down to 1 life, this card's useless to you. If you get to 1 before you can play it, or if you're at 2 life, you're only ripping 1 card out of their hand and he's only becoming a 50k, which is still powerful, but not as powerful as something like a 75k or 100k swinging in just for game that way. So there are those kind of give and takes, but whenever he comes out and you can start using his effect, he's one of the strongest cards in the game. He's like Gogeta 7, powerful level. So very, very strong, very, very strong card. But anyway, guys, that is our top 5 of the SR cards from Assault of the Saiyans. Let us know what you think down below. If you've got any other things that you felt like should have been added or you feel like shouldn't be on the top 5 or all that kind of stuff. But we will see y'all next time.